I never got to enjoy being with a man during the best years of my life. I feel like my youth was wasted. If I had another chance, I would definitely start dating and having boyfriends from the age of 18 and really savor those happy times.
I am 38 years old. Right now, I'm single, I've never been married, and I haven't had any children. I want to advise young women not to believe the toxic advice you see online. Things like, as long as you have money in your account or a car, or if you blossom, the butterflies will come. All those sayings about being beautiful on your own are just toxic positivity. When you reach my age, you'll understand, right? It's extremely difficult to find a decent guy to marry. You can work hard to earn money for a car or a house. You have the ability to buy those things, but if you want to find someone who can spend a lifetime with you, it's already too late. Silly little sisters, remember this.
Nowadays, many women claim to reject marriage and childbirth to raise their value. Have you noticed most people online saying they won't marry or have kids are women? But in reality, at matchmaking events, these same women show up. Do they really reject marriage and childbirth? No, they're actually anxious to get married, but what they want is for men to marry them with guilt, so they can justifiably ask for a bride price, a marital home, and later demand all the man's salary.
Constantly buying handbags and expecting endless tolerance while she can do whatever she wants and avoids responsibility. As long as a man wants to marry her, he has to pay more. If he wants her to have children, that costs extra too. Honestly, ladies, let's open our eyes and look at the world. What's the point of raising your value by rejecting marriage and childbirth? If you want to prove your independence, don't try to persuade others. Just don't get married yourself, reject marriage and childbirth. But then, don't spend men's money. If you're not getting married, isn't that fair?
Don't expect men to spend lots of money on you while flaunting your stance against marriage and childbirth. If you claim to be independent, who are you trying to impress by wanting both at once? The outcome for so-called leftover older women is always a high price but no market.
It's just like the current second-hand housing market. There are plenty of houses, lots of people looking, but no one actually buying. And you have to believe this. Being foolish and having lots of money never exist in the same person. Yet older single women always hope to find someone who is both wealthy and treats them well.
They always believe those toxic inspirational quotes they see online and take them to heart. Based on my many years of experience as a matchmaker, I've seen far too many older single women, and their outcomes are honestly very, very unfortunate. If you can recognize your own situation, it's actually quite easy to find a partner. So my advice to all older single women is this. First, you need to have a correct understanding of your own position, see yourself clearly, and then keep working on improving yourself. When your inner strength is solid, you'll have many more options to choose from. As long as you adjust your mindset, I think it will be very easy for you to find a partner. Why is it that Yan Dongping's divorce, in terms of how bad it was, can't even compare to the Shanghai non-biological child case, yet its impact was dozens of times greater? It's because when people look at the Shanghai non-biological child case, it's hard for them to put themselves in that situation. They just see it as a beastly act.
But the Yan Dongping divorce case is different. It can even shake the very foundation of a nation. In our country, most families follow the model where the man works outside and the woman manages the household. The man is responsible for going out and working hard to earn money, while the woman takes care of the family. Originally, both sides cooperated with each other. Even if the man didn't hand over his salary, he would still take the initiative to cover most of the family's expenses. However, the Yan Dongping divorce case is telling men that even if you do this for 5 consecutive years, even if you transfer 8,000 yuan every month, you can still be labeled as someone who doesn't care about the family. In the end, you not only lose your car and house, but the other party may even refuse to let you visit your child. Especially now, during an economic downturn when everyone is struggling to make money, the Yan Dongping divorce case has made men even more reluctant to hand over their money to their wives. There are already quite a few housewives online complaining that after their husbands saw the Yan Dongping divorce case, they suddenly stopped giving them money.
Or they just give a small amount of money for basic household expenses. The lack of trust between husband and wife is enough to destroy a family, and unmarried men are starting to fear marriage as well. They can't help but worry, if I work myself to the bone after getting married and end up with nothing, then why should I get married at all? The end result is a sharp drop in marriage rates and a surge in divorce rates. I don't understand why some people still think it's easy to make money these days. There was a young woman who told me she earns 5,000 or 6,000 yuan a month.
She said, if a man earns less than 20,000 a month, how can he live? So how did you get by? You make 5,000 or 6,000. Did you die? How are you still breathing? When a man makes 20,000, you think it's not enough. But when you make 5 or 6, you feel fine, even think you're doing well and act all high and mighty. What makes you better than anyone else? A girl from the countryside comes to the city, earns 5,000 or 6,000 a month, then demands more. Her mother didn't get a degree. She only has a junior college diploma, and her job isn't even stable. Then she says she won't consider a man making less than 20,000 a month. My goodness, what kind of face do you think you have? If you look like Fan Bingbing, I could find you a billionaire, even someone like that. But have you looked in the mirror and then you insist you have to find someone like that?
Has a car, has a house, no mortgage, and makes over 200,000 a year? Are you kidding me? A lot of men and women just can't communicate with each other. People just think they can communicate with others.
For example, if you're a man, you're a boss, you want to make money, and you look for a woman who also wants to make money. But that's not what women are thinking. What women think is, I love you, and because I love you, you should let me enjoy your wealth. But that's not what men want.
Men, what they want is greater wealth. They want a woman who will support them, but women don't want that. They just want to spend your money. So this so-called communication is just a superficial compromise.
Honestly, I really wish I could marry a man and not have him give me a bride price. I could spend 188,000 yuan to marry a man who would stay at home to clean, do the laundry, cook, mop the floor, and take care of my cats. He wouldn't need to work, and I'd give him 3,000 yuan a month. I'll support you, I'll support you, I'll support you. Does anyone want me to support them? I wouldn't even ask you to have kids. I don't have any. Well, the only kids I have are my 4 furry ones, and you just have to take care of them. Seriously, isn't that okay? Isn't that good enough? I'll give you 3,000 yuan a month. Ideally, you could even save another 20,000 yuan a year. That would be perfect. Hey, did you know? Right now, there are over 100 million older single women nationwide, meaning women over 30 who haven't gotten married yet. That's almost the population of an entire country. So why is it that so many older women these days don't want to get married? Yesterday, a woman came into our shop, she's 35, and I asked her, I said, why are you only now thinking about getting married? So what do you think is the reason there are so many leftover men and women nowadays? This woman said it's because men these days don't have money. They can't afford to buy a car, can't afford to buy a house, and don't have money for a bride price. Or if they do have money, they always feel like if they spend a little on a date, they're being taken advantage of by a gold digger, so they're reluctant to spend money on women. That's why they can't get married. And why do women end up being left over? Because they want a man with money, but the men with money don't want them. And she doesn't want the ones without money either. As for leftover women, they're almost always the type who, how should I put it, well, they're not satisfied with someone above or below their standards. Do you think what this woman said makes sense? What does it mean to freeload? When you're with a man and he doesn't buy you gifts, you say he's freeloading. But when you're providing him with physical satisfaction, he's not just sitting around either. And you're pretty happy too, aren't you? If you're really after material things, then just do business openly. Set a clear price, and those who are interested will come. But if you're using the guise of seeking love, trying to have it both ways, sister, that's not genuine. Let me say this again. For all the unmarried single men or divorced single men out there, your good days are just around the corner. Soon, you'll be meeting many women who are fair-skinned, beautiful, have stable jobs, steady incomes, cars, and houses. These women will no longer be asking you for large bride prices. They also won't care anymore whether you've been married before, or whether you're handsome, or even whether you're tall. The only thing they'll care about is whether you're willing to marry them, whether you're willing to take them home as your wife. As long as you say the word, they'll be ready to marry you at any time.
Why do I say this? Let me show you a video first.
You finished watching the video, right? I can't speak for other places, but this is the matchmaking market in Zhengzhou, Henan province. There are already an overwhelming number of older single women here. So for all you single guys out there, what you should do is just eat when you want, drink when you want, have fun, and don't bother saving money. There's no need to save up for a bride price or to buy a house. None of that is necessary anymore. In the future, someone else will buy those things for you.
30 years in the East, 30 years in the West, this is the law of nature, and it cannot be changed by human will. I know that there will be people in this comment area who will say that I am dreaming. It doesn't matter. Time will prove everything. Those men who have been single for a long time and have not been in a relationship. Now, the state is probably that they have not played games for a long time. No one has replied to messages, and they watch short videos every day and are touched by the copywriting and videos from time to time. Occasionally, they go out to fish and drink a little wine. Even though sometimes I feel very lonely, I still don't want to just settle or get involved in any ambiguous relationships or flirt with girls. That's even more out of the question. It's already good enough that I don't act like a simp. Besides, it's not that this kind of man truly doesn't want to date. It's that he's afraid of getting hurt, afraid of trouble, afraid he can't give a woman the life she wants, afraid she'll suffer if she's with him, because he really isn't confident that he can win the love of a woman who truly loves him, and he doesn't have the courage to say things that would promise her a lifetime of happiness. So that's just how it is.
Nowadays, guys in Beijing, especially those born in the 80s and 90s, are way too clear-headed. Recently, there was this 33-year-old guy from Beijing who went on a blind date and met a 30-year-old woman also from Beijing. When they met, the first thing the guy asked was, "Do you have an apartment?" The woman replied, "No, I don't." Then the guy kept going, "Well, do you have a car?" Again, the woman answered, "No, I don't." The guy pressed on, "So, after all these years, do you have any savings?" The woman replied once more, "No, I don't." The guy said, "Oh, then maybe we're not really a good match. Let's not waste each other's time." The woman felt uncomfortable and thought, "You're a man coming out on a blind date, asking me if I have a car, an apartment, or savings. Are you looking for a live-in son-in-law?" Sure, your situation might be a bit better, but when it comes to getting married, shouldn't I be the one asking you these questions? In the end, the guy said, you're already 30. You've been out of school for 7 or 8 years, right? You're still thinking about buying a house and a car, but you don't have any savings. That just shows you haven't tried to save any of your salary all these years. So basically, you're just hoping to marry a good husband and then spend his money, wait for the guy to buy you a house, a car, and give you a dowry. And you even say you have a bachelor's degree. Well, I only have a college diploma, but even if your education is higher, your mindset really hasn't progressed at all. You're already 30 and you don't even have a bit of spare change to your name. Your job isn't great, you don't make much money, and you can't save either. At this point, the woman got upset and said, but I'm a woman. I have to get married, have children, and take care of the family. Isn't it only right for men to contribute more materially? Isn't that just how it's supposed to be? If I have to buy a house and a car myself, then what's the point of getting married? If you don't want to contribute anything, am I just supposed to go over and be your free maid, work like a horse or an ox for nothing? Then the man replied, do you think your only role in marriage is to have children? And you need to understand, getting married doesn't mean you're coming to my family to protect me. No one is asking you to be a maid or to work like a horse or an ox. We're supposed to be building a new family together. We should share the responsibilities of the family together. Then the woman said, I have to endure the pain of childbirth as a woman, so shouldn't you men compensate me for that? The man shot back, but you're giving birth to her, not me. When the child grows up, if you educate her well and she's filial to you, isn't that enough? Besides, it's not like I'm not contributing. Won't I be responsible for all the expenses for the child in the future? This response left the woman at a loss for words, and she felt she couldn't argue back, but then the man actually started crying. So do you think the man's attitude toward the woman was excessive? Feel free to join our ongoing discussion about this.
What does it mean when people say a man changes as soon as he gets married? I can tell you, it's not that the man has changed, it's that your temper has stayed the same. You were willful before marriage, and you're still willful after. Remember, it's not that your boyfriend's temper is getting worse, it's that his love for you is worn down day after day, again and again.
I'm 1.5 meters tall, asking for someone 1.75 meters too much. It is. I have a bachelor's, expecting the same too much. It is. I earn 10,000 a month, asking for 15,000 too much. Now that's too much.
Too much. I have a car and a house, so it's not too much to expect the other person to have a car and a house too, right? It's too much. Why? How old are you? 32. Exactly. You're already 32. Then go ask around. Would men who meet these conditions choose you? But I really am better than a lot of other women. You may be better than them, but they're younger than you. Men just like younger women. I have a car and a house, but they're younger than you. I have a high income, but men only care about youth. I have a good job, but they're younger than you.
Do you speak for all men? I am a man, and I just like youth. So what kind of person do you think I should look for? I feel like all my years of hard work mean nothing after what you just said.
It's not that I'm making up stories about you, but it's just that men all like younger women. You can't blame me for that, right? And don't women also like good-looking guys or guys with money and status? Isn't that true? I admit it. You see, you all like rich and handsome men, so we men also like young and beautiful women. For example, if I asked you to marry someone from the countryside, someone poor and not good-looking, would you marry him? Of course you wouldn't, right? So why do you expect men with good conditions to meet your standards, right? You insist on finding someone outstanding from Dalian City, so what if you're outstanding? What's the use of being outstanding? How much money can you actually spend on your boyfriend? How much money do you even have to spend on a man? You don't have any money yourself, yet you live in this toxic mindset, turn on beauty filters, and with no one around, put on some makeup and think you're invincible, right? You think you're something special, a great beauty. Then you have a few simps in your WeChat moments who message you every day, and you start to feel like you're really popular. Just stay single.